completely different.
The Tampa Bay Rays made it clear Thursday night that they are frustrated with how Tropicana Field's storm damage is being handled and with their relationship with the local officials. Oh, typical Tampa Bay Rays fashion, like a bitter ex. It's everybody else's fault. Team presidents Matt Silverman and Brian Auld spoke about the situation on WDAE, my former job, as part of the Countdown to Opening Day podcast. This came after St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch said the city wouldn't agree on a new stadium at any cost in a city council debate over how much to spend on repairing the Trop. There is so much that is wrong with St. Petersburg right now that the freaking Rays should be at the bottom of the list. Auld said the stadium is dear to the team and that no one wants it reopened more than the Rays. But he pushed back against city officials who said that they're doing only the bare minimum repairs and says that's not how the team operates. You are the bare minimum. You make the most out of players, then when it's time to pay them, you let them go. And we know the Trop is dear to you. You have nowhere else to play, so you kind of need the Trop. Brian Auld said, we know the city has to be smart with spending, and we support that. But you guys are cheap. And you literally could have hired people to start fixing the Trop, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. Auld also pointed out that Tropicana Field isn't just for baseball. It hosts concerts, graduations, free dental clinics for kids, youth sports, and even foster child adoption celebrations. The team also plans to bring in more events like Royal Rumble, which brought in $47 million this past January. January 2024. Despite the issues, the Rays say they're committed to playing at the Trop through at least 2028 because they have nowhere else to go. And the media is afraid to say something because they don't want to lose their inside, info, blah, blah, blah. The original plan was to replace Trop with a new billion-dollar stadium. But right now, it's unclear if that plan is moving forward. All they had to do was put some protection on the roof, but they literally had a piece of fabric essentially covering it. The Trop has been without a roof since Hurricane Milton hit in October, causing over $55 million in damage. This is what happens with corporate America. They're afraid to spend money, but then when things go wrong, if they spent just a little bit of money, things would be better. However, Brian Auld acknowledges that City Council approves that the approvals of City Council take time, as officials need to weigh risks, costs, and potential FEMA reimbursements. Also, Silverman assured fans the team is working to make sure the Rays play in Tampa Bay in 2026, even if the Trop isn't ready. Where are you going to go? Is there going to be like a game of The Sims where you just magically make something? What they're doing is they're putting pressure on the city. They're being very passive-aggressive because their owner's a cheap dirtbag, and I feel bad for the employees because they're in a bad spot, and the media's afraid to report on anything because they don't want to lose their press passes, so they just kiss the ass of the Rays and let the Rays do this cheap nonsense. Silverman directed most of his frustration at Pinellas County Commissioners, saying they broke a nearly final deal by delaying a key vote. Because there's other things that are more important. Did you see how many people's houses were ruined in St. Pete? You are a baseball team that almost no one cares about. You have a cult following. You have your fans. You guys are actually top 15 out of 30 or 32, how many teams there are in baseball, whatever. You're top 15 in ratings. People just don't want to drive. And that whole excuse, there's traffic. How do you think people in Philly, LA, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, any of these teams in big cities, Boston, how do you think they get to games? They sit in traffic. It's an excuse. Silverman said the team put in a lot of effort to make the stadium project work. You didn't put in effort to, cover your roof. Securing $700 million in private financing and agreeing to cover cost overruns. But with cost rising and city and county officials unwilling to contribute more, the Rays are questioning whether the investment makes sense for the next 30 years. All they care about is keeping their job. They don't care about this area. If they cared about this area, they would spend some money or even protect their roof. The fact that they didn't even protect their roof describes how cheap they are.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
Ryan Hoppe.
WPRadio.com.
And like that,